Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we'll be doing a review of the Beast Wars cast from Rise of the Beasts. So we're doing these ones specifically first because this is the only complete set of characters that I have from that movie, unfortunately. I have a almost complete set of the Autobots. I'm just missing Optimus Prime from that. And for the Terracons, I have only one member of them. So if anybody knows where to get a battle trap and a Scourge, then please let me know in the comments. Because I'm hoping for either a re-release or something. Because it's not easy to find either of those cheap on like the aftermarket, which sucks. Considering that that wave essentially never appeared, specifically the leader class stuff, which sucks. Hey. So yeah. So who we have in front of us? We have Optimus Primal, Rhinox, Cheetor, and Airazor, which were the only Beast Wars characters in Rise of the Beasts. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, the cast was a bit bloated, as it were, considering we had like 5 Autobots and like 3 like of the bad guys, 4 technically for counting Unicron. But yeah, like these are all the ones that mainly appear in our main characters. Yes, there is the possible remold of this guy in the future, which is Ape Link, which we see at the beginning of the movie. I would not be surprised if he's like a repaint, slight remold of this guy to be more accurate to the film. But yeah. So yeah, here they are in their beast modes with Rhinox with a rhino, cheetah, and then like ape, great ape. What type of monkey is Optimus Primal? And then an eagle. So yeah, and okay. Here's my one grievance with these guys is that like for all of them, like we don't really get to see their robot modes in full until like the final like bit. Like we see Primal's robot mode a lot in the final battle. It's just that we get bare glimpses of these two. I think they might have had some cut scenes where they're in robot mode. I question why they didn't have scenes, because I think they got like a line a piece. And even then, in the final battle, like you could barely see their designs. Like the only clear way we've seen those designs is both in these toys and in the YOLO Park like action figure models. And with Airazor here, she never even got a robot mode. She stayed in like her eagle mode the entire movie and dies in it. Spoilers for a movie that's been out for probably over a year or 2 at this point. But yeah, it is very annoying, especially because they killed off one of the main cast members from the original like Beast Wars show, and we never get to see a robot mode. The only time we get to see it is in this toy right here, leading me to wonder of why. Like she's in this mode predominantly throughout the film, which makes me just question so many things. But yeah. So to start off with, we'll start from Deluxe, then we'll go to the 2 Voyagers, and then we'll end off with Primal. So let me get these guys out of the way, and then we can focus on Airazor. So yeah, Airazor here appearing in her Eagle mode with, well, you can see how this can transform because it's pretty much just a reshell of the Kingdom mold, which I do have a review up. It's in my big Beast Wars cast review. I'll have that like pinned in the comments and in the description if you want to check it out. So yeah, it's pretty much the same transformation and, well, none of the shared parts, but it's legally distinct Kingdom Airazor is what I can say. Like, it's a good mold. Like, this is a good toy, yes. Do I feel like it represents the character? I mean, it kind of does, but it's just like the one disappointing thing that I had like throughout, like after like watching Rise of the Beast is the fact that while their beast modes are iconic, it's just that they're not just known for their beast modes, they're known for their like hybrid, like organic, like mechanical-esque stuff with their like robot modes. And well, you can see the technological detail here. Like these aren't like smooth feather wings, besides like in a few small like places. Like they're like sharp curves, and like the wings here are like not like the wings here on the back of Airazor, who blends the hybridization a bit more. So yeah. So for her articulation in beast mode, rotation at the head and hinge down. Beak does open up. It is painted in a nice silver, I must say. And the wings here, same articulation as on the Kingdom version. Hinge here, here, and here. So yeah, you can get some like natural, like fluid wing poses, which doesn't really work, especially on a non-organic look, if that makes any sense. And also the wings here can go in, so if you just want her like all like wings curled up, if that makes any sense, just like that. The ankles here move forward and back, and they are on a ball joint, so you get like a good amount of ankle tilt either way. So yeah. So let's get on to her transformation, which is going to be very familiar. So to start off with, bring the arms out, then flip them forward, and then the difference between this and the Kingdom Airazor is that the blasters can stay in their original position the entire time, so you just need to rotate them around, that's it. So there we have the arms all done. So for the legs, untab them, bring them down, bring them out, bring that down, rotate the foot around, and then rotate the entire like thigh around. Bring that down, bring up the tail feathers so you can rotate the entire thing around. And now we just bring this back piece forward, and then rotate all this around, and then bring them down on the double hinge in the chest, just like that, and then you just tab the head into the chest while the beak goes in and like blocks the waist swivel, which kind of sucks, but hey, is what it is. And to collapse the wings further, just accordioning them in using this tab into this slot right here, so just like that. Then bring them forward, and here we have what is essentially figure concept art for what her robot mode would have looked like in the film. I'm still salty about that. I'm still salty at the fact that they didn't show off her robot mode. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, they would have had, like, to create the model for it and then so on, but hey, it is a cool design, honestly. Like, with sort of, like, kind of like a Valkyrie, like, weirdly enough, like, with the helmet and the wings and such. Then again, I could mean indeed, like, not the traditional version of a Valkyrie, but, like, I don't know, something like that. So, yeah. So, especially in robot mode, you can see the influences that she takes from the Kingdom version. But she is a bit taller, surprisingly. Like, about a head taller, I think, on the camera a bit. Yeah, she's about a head taller. So, yeah. So, it is not a bad modernization. I just wish that we saw it in the film, which sucks that we didn't. So, yeah. Let's do a quick bit with the articulation, and then we can continue on to the other ones. So, also, you can remove these and give them to her as, like, pistols, I guess, if you want to. But yeah, put that back. So yeah, for articulation, she has a ball joint at the head. You don't really get that much up, but you do get a good amount of like side to side before her like head spikes, or like actually her chin like bumps into like her collar bit here. So yeah, wings have the same articulation if you untab them, so you do like wing shields and all that, which kind of make more sense here. But yeah, back in. Yeah, you can just spread out the wings like that. Shoulders are on ball joints. They can really go back that far due to the wings, but they can go forward and like do all the way up. She can do the full T-pose, kind of. That's weird, I never noticed that on this arm, where it just like pops down back into place. Weird. So yeah, okay, rotation at the elbow and then 90 degrees of bend. You can get a bit extra at the fist. No waist articulation unless you like untab the head, but then it starts looking a bit awkward. Makes any sense? So yeah. God, these wings do not want to stay tabbed in. It's very annoying. So for her legs, she can't go back that far, can't go forward very far, and go out, like straight out. Knee bend is way past 90. Do the full like knee kick. Thigh swivel. Ankle is on a ball joint, and you do get a rotation here because of it being a ball joint, and you can kind of use the hinge here as like forward foot articulation, but then I don't know anyone's foot that can do that. So yeah. So Eraser, good toy. Disappointing in how she was portrayed in the movie. So yeah. Let's move on to the next one, that being Cheetor in his cheetah mode. And it's a mode. Like, it's not bad if it's static here, but its articulation in this mode is a bit lacking. And also, this is where you do weapon storage on the back here with his like spears here, or like you can't combine them into one longer spear, or just like have them separate. It's like not tonfas. I don't know, it's like batons. So yeah, beast mode's pretty good, but it's, again, it is awkward looking, especially when you try to pose it, because you can't really get any outward articulation without untabbing the shoulders here. The head looks more like a bear, weirdly enough, than a tiger or like a cheetah. Like, I feel like the head needed to be a bit smaller for it to work. But yeah, and like for like his beast mode articulation, that's as much as you're getting at like the shoulders here, unless you're untabbing it to like make it go any farther, and even then that's just using the robot mode articulation. But yeah, like it is rotation, like Paul can move that forward, and yes, that is his hand. These do become his arms, and then like a little bit of Paul movement there, and these are just his legs for robot mode. So yeah, and these legs here are pretty much stuck. You can't really go any far backwards. You do have some ankle pivot, but then again, robot mode. So yeah. Oh, also, the head is on a ball joint, I guess. Yeah, it's on a ball joint, and then the mouth can open, so he can scream at you. Because why not? So yeah. Like, not bad, but they could have done better. So yeah, let's get on to this guy's robot mode. Start off with fold up the tail like that. Then we can work on the legs. Tripod's being weird. There we go. So for the legs, just bring that forward, bring that down, just straight out like that. Same thing on the other side. And then untab the shin from the thigh, and then bring it down. Make sure that this tab goes into this slot here. So that way it's just stable, just like that. Rotate them around, and then we can bring them down, and there we have the bottom half all done. So for the top half, untab the shoulders here from this tab, just like that. Bring them down, rotate these forward, rotate the hands, fold down the claws. Do the same thing on the other side, and then bring these panels here that are on the back of the arm, and then bring them to the side, just to fill in that space. And now to put this head away, we just need to fold that fully in, and then bring this out, bring this forward, flip out the robot mode head, and then flip in the cheetah head, fold that up, and here we have Cheetor in his robot mode. And honestly, this ain't that bad of an adaptation from, like, cartoon to live action. But he is very Copper-esque, considering, well, yes, the Kingdom one is not a accurate shade of yellow, and the blue should be a bit more metallic, and he should have more gold elements. See it as like a bad like adaptation. I do wish he had more of the like cheetah head in his chest, because it just looked like a generic robot, where with Airazor you could see that she is transformed from a bird. You can't really tell that with Cheetor here. Like, it's not that bad of a translation. This looks like an older Cheetor than the younger, like, Bumblebee-esque one that we had in the original, like, cartoon. I don't mind this. Like, this is pretty good. Could have been a bit brighter, honestly. I could say that about all of these, like, Beast Wars, like, updates. Well, live action updates, honestly. So, yeah. He's honestly not that bad, and he is pretty well painted. Like, I just wish that they were a bit brighter. So yeah, for his articulation, his head has a full ball joint, so you can do like the whole head tilt, full 360, etc. Arms can do a full 360 and can go all the way out, just like that. The shoulder pad is a separate piece, so it doesn't get in the way of like articulation all that much. He does have a bicep swivel. Elbows can bend at 90 degrees, and he does have a wrist swivel. He does also have a waist swivel. It's just that you have to move the butt plate here out of the way to fully use it. And legs can go forward that far, and if you move the butt plate out of the way, you can go back about that far. 90 degrees of bend at the knee, ankle pivots, like, yeah, you can go the full 90. I was surprised. And you can't really get anything at the feet besides a bit of toe tilt, but even then, I wouldn't trust this to support him. Like, well, yeah, that. Because he just needs his, like, full foot on the ground. So, yeah. And then his weapon here, this is the top part of the sphere, and there's only one way for you to tab it into each other. This flat end needs to go to the flat end of the hole. Just like that. So, you can just plug one end on top, one end on the bottom, and there he is holding his spear. Pretty nice. You can make it look like he's dual wielding it, but he can't really get his other hand around it because, well, unless you do this. Actually, that kind of works, weirdly enough. So yeah. So yeah, and also storage on the back still works. So there we go. Quick little comparison with his teammate, who again we barely get to see the robot mode of. Here we have Eraser. Honestly, they don't look too bad together. Again, I wish I saw Eraser's robot mode in the movie, but you live with what you got. So yeah. And now we have the next person, that being Rhinox, who's the bruiser and never speaks a line in the movie. Like, well, I mean, I say never, but then again, I could be wrong, because, like, there's possibly one time he says a line, and it might have been miscredited to Cheetor, or something like that. I honestly don't know. So yeah, here he is in his very gray rhinoceros mode with hints of like bronze and with his hammer on top, which you can just take off and then fold up like that. It is an annoyingly short hammer where the handle is right up here. Ah yes, the most well-known way to hold a hammer, from the almost like tip, not from down here, especially where you're going to get more force. Yeah, that is the one that is like a problem with this hammer, honestly. So yeah. For articulation in beast mode, his head can look up, mouth can open like that. It's not the full bore roaring that he had in the film where like you could see like the weird thing he had inside his mouth. I have no idea what the hell that was. So yeah. Like the shoulders can move slightly and can bend. And then there's a ball joint at the foot here. Legs here are pretty much the robot mode legs, and the tail here is on a hinge. So yeah. So for transformation, start off with open this up, then, or actually, I think that might be a later step because I can't do that. I don't transform this guy often, so just give me a minute. So start off with, open those up, rotate that, rotate it around, and then just fold it back in. Do the same thing on the other side. That's never happened to me before. I'll have it like this actually. Okay. There we go, the fists are out. The shoulders will constantly pop off on you, which is why they're not pinned. I'm kind of happy because that would lead to many a breakage. So yeah, just bring that out. Bring that out. Rotate that around. Rotate the fist. Rotate then around. Rotate the fist. And I don't know why this is doing this. Sorry, just equipment being weird. There we go. Okay. So I get that the shoulder piece back on. There we go. Rotate that all down. Rotate the feet down, and then I think I'm supposed to untab these to make him look bigger, I guess. He doesn't have any heels, which is weird. But yeah, so then we just open the back here, bringing that out. Also, while we're back in this like back cavity here, bring up these horns. That is right where my finger is. Bring them out, and then now we can bring the horn in. There we go. Make sure the horn goes through this hole here, otherwise it's going to be very annoying to transform. So bring that all. What is going on with this figure? Untabbing and hinges. So yeah, and then fold that in, just like that. Then we can bring it all up like that. Bring the chest plate forward, and then we can untab it from these side pieces here, bringing it up, then bringing these in, clipping them together, and then you're supposed to like separate these rubbery bits out. And here we have, well, actually, one more step. Make sure that the arms, these tab into the chest piece here when you're folding it up. So yeah, just like that. Here we have Rhina. Oh wait. And you're supposed to bring up this panel back here to keep the tail, well, shorter. Like that. So yeah, here we have Rhinox in his robot mode, and I mean, it works for a realistic Rhinox, but again, I feel like this does not represent, well, in design, it works. As a design of Rhinox, it works, it's just that the colors, comparative to his original color scheme, I feel like something's missing. I feel like there could have been a bit more green in this design to make it stand out a bit more, honestly. But hey, it is what it is. Yeah. Also, this is what I mean by him only being able to hold the hammer by, like, down here, which is very annoying. Like, I mean, you can kind of get, like, a two-handed pose. Even then, it looks awkward. I feel like the handle either needed to be longer or the space that he's holding it in needed to be a bit further down. But, I mean, it is what it is. So, yeah. So, yeah. Here he is with his, that's what he looked like with his original version. And now here he is with his comrades. Both of these are barely appearing in each of their films, or at least in their scenes. So yeah, here he is with the cast so far. So yeah, honestly not a bad looking set of, like, realistic-esque Maximals. There we go. So yeah. Let's get on to articulation, then we can move on to our final presentation. So yeah, for his head, he does have a ball joint. It's just very hard to get your, like, hand around the head because of the collar here. So yeah, he does do, like, the full tilts. You can do a fullish rotation with, I think, the chin hitting something back there, but I don't know what, really. But yeah, like, arms can do a full rotation. Not on a ratchet joint, it's supposedly a mushroom joint, it's just that on mine it's slightly, it's not clicky, but it, like, thumps into place, weirdly enough. So yeah, dude, and that happens. So yeah, he does have a bicep swivel, which is really nice. Let me get that with his hand. He does have a little under 90 degrees of bend at the elbow, which sucks. He does have a wrist swivel, and he does have a waist swivel. That looks kind of wrong, considering, like, I feel like it's because of how big his upper torso is, makes his legs look smaller, even though they're not. It's just that it's weird proportionally. It could have been a lot better, but I mean, we already got what we got. So yeah, the legs can go forward that far, which is honestly surprising. And also the hips piece here can move if you needed to. Legs can go out that far. He does have a limited thigh swivel because of it, well, hitting the back here. He does have double joints at the knee. It's just that you can only get 90 with them. Feet can go down that far and has a crazy amount of ankle articulation, which is surprising to me. Also, I gotta give kudos to the designers, especially with all the mechanical detailing, like, underneath, like, armor plates here. It kind of, like, from what I understand, it's kind of a reference back to, like, older, like, from the Michael Bay movies, like, toys, if that makes any sense. Like, where some of them had, like, moving mechanical parts underneath, like, pieces when you, like, move a joint, I think it was called Mechalife. Just correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. So yeah, that was Rhinox, and let's move on to our final bot that we'll be reviewing today, that being the leader of the Maximals, leader class, Optimus Primal. And you may notice at first that he's carrying a lot of stuff. So let's get that out of the way first. First things first, he comes with Optimus Prime's axe from Rise of the Beasts. I guess they couldn't fit this on the mold originally with that figure, so they decided to include it with Optimus Primal here. So yeah, when I review that version of Optimus, I will show off all the functionality that this can do. Pretty much, the only functionality here is that it has like a peg here at the bottom that is, I think, 3mm compatible, along with this one up here. So yeah, and also like it's 5mm handle. I show off with Bumblebee here. So yeah, so you can't hold it, like it can't be held by anyone. So yeah. And that's the last we'll be seeing of this because it's not really relevant to Optimus Primal, like, at all. They just included it so that way your Optimus Prime could be complete. So, unless you get, like, a third-party upgrade kit. Yeah. Okay, so, and then these two swords on his back, that detached everything. Like, these two are references to his, like, original blades back in the toy and in the cartoon. So they can combine at the ends here to create his, like, double, like, sword staff thing. Or they can be combined with this chain piece here, which I think, from what I understand, is more concept art stuff that got put in with the toy. So, and there can split, so you can hold them separately if you want to. I don't know why. So yeah, just make sure post goes in the hole, and then hole goes on to post. So if you want him using this as like whip of sorts, because he does in the trailer use it, the chain as like, well done. So yeah, it's just a bunch of hinges together. So if you want to use it like this is, then go ahead. If not, then I'm pretty sure you can give this to your battle trap to use as a makeshift chain for that guy. But yeah, so it's going to be the last I mention of these, because they're pretty useless. And then one final accessory here is the transwarp key, the plot MacGuffin of the movie, or at least the item that they're looking for. He does come with it, and it does split into two, but you can combine it to just keep the two halves together. So yeah. And you can put them on, like, and if you don't want to put this in a baggie, you can put them on the ends of this chain here to just store them, which is what I did. But yeah, like, Primal can hold this because he does have opening hands, like, in his, like, beast mode, so he can hold on to it. Unless it slips out of his fingers. But yeah, so that has been enough about his accessories. Let's get on to the main event. So yeah, for his head, his head is on a ball joint. You can get like a full 360, kinda, sort of. Head can look up that far, look forward that far. Arms full 360. There's a butterfly joint here, specifically for the beast mode, because you can use this in robot mode, but it's backwards. So yeah, full 360, shoulder pad can move up and down, accommodating however much you need to move the arm up. There is a bicep swivel, elbow bends to 90. He does have a wrist swivel, and for those who know of like old Kamen Rider toys, he does have a 2 fingers, like the fingers do split. It's just that they don't do the thing that, say for example, Megatron here did, where it has like the pointer finger, 3 finger like split. I don't know why this is out of focus. Come on. There we go. So yeah, it's just like kind of modeled like how old like Kamen Rider toys were, like with their hands instead of just them being fully like replaceable, I think. So yeah, so barely any waist articulation because of just how it's engineered. Legs can go forward about that far, backwards, not much. Can do the full splits. There's thigh rotation, kind of. There we go. So, sorry, I thought I heard something. The foot can move forward and back a bit, kind of. But yeah, that's pretty much all the art. Oh, he can scream at you. Ah. So yeah. So that was the articulation for beast mode. Let's get on to the transformation. To start off with, the more like annoying part first. Let's start off with the legs, which you untab them here. Like, yeah, they just plug in right there, and then you just bring it all down. Bring the foot down, and then close that up. Bring the foot down. Make sure that you get a hand. Come on. Make sure you get this heel out. Bring all that up, just like that, and then fold that up. Make sure you bring this down on the double hinge here, and then make sure this tab goes into this slot here. There we go. Leg fully done. Do the same thing on the other side. Just like so. There we go, and there we have the legs all done. Now let's work on the arms. I don't know what's going on with this light, I swear to God. There we go. So yeah, for the arms, let's focus on one arm first. So to start off with, make sure that the hands here are fully compressed. Rotate that around, and bring this out. Then with this here, open that up, bring this around, and while you have the arm here, rotate the arm pad here. So there, bring that fully, oh wait, actually, you have the back of the hand rotated like this so you can get this part moved, and then you rotate it back so you can cover that up. Then cover all that up, and then bring this down to cover the back of the hand of the monkey mode. Do the same thing on the opposite side. There we go. And now to deal with the chest. So start off with, untab this, bring it forward, kind of to look like that, and then rotate that up. Then bring this up and around, just like that. Bring this around, rotate it up, rotate it around, and then bring it down around the back. Make sure it tabs into place. And then you can bring down the entire chest piece here. Just like that. And then just move that out of the way. Then make sure this tab goes into this slot here. There we go, pressing it all down. Now for the head, rotate that up, and then rotate that around. You're meant to have the head in this specific orientation when you're bringing it down. Then you can bring all this up. And here we have Optimus Primal in his robot mode. And honestly, a pretty good representation of how he looked like in the film, except for the fact that he has a mouth plate, which for some reason is not focusing. There we go. So yeah, this is again another piece of concept art that made it to the figure before they actually finalized the designs for the film. So I think during the movie we probably would have seen, well, obviously this robot mode, and then this mask plate here, which connects him back more towards his original design, that being the classic... What is wrong with the autofocus on my phone? Jeez. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I have no idea what's going on. Yeah. Here he is with his, well, G1 counterpart, is technically what he is. So yeah. Honestly, not a bad update. I do feel like he could have, well, had a bit more color, maybe a bit blue, some blue, and like something other than the black and the gray and the silver. Because that is my thing with all of these, like, bots, where they're all not bad in the design. It's just that the color placement, I feel, could have used some work. Like, I feel like the color placement, like, the colors could have been a lot brighter, they could have been a little bit better, but the toys have already been made, they're right in front of you, and, well, there. Hopefully this light will stay on for the rest of the review. So yeah, this is all of the Beast Wars, like, members that appeared for a good majority of the film. So yeah, there's no Dinobot, no Rat Trap. I do hope that they make concept art figures of those. That would be pretty interesting to see, considering that there was concept art for Rampage, if I am correct. So yeah. So let me get these guys out of the way, and then we can get on to, well, articulation. So yeah. Also, one thing I forgot, he has 3mm like ports on the hips, so you can store the swords on his hips, which is honestly not a bad way to like store them. Honestly, I kind of like it. Besides them just being on his back, because you still can use the ports back here for that. So yeah, let me get these out of the way. Now we can get on to articulation. So his head has a ball joint. Can't really look up that far, but can look like that far side to side because of the collar back here. It does have a full rotation at the arms, backwards biceps, backwards butterfly, sorry. Arm can go out that far, bicep swivel, 90 degrees of bend at the elbow, wrist swivel, and the same finger split that he had in, like, beast mode, which is very weird to me. Why isn't it focusing? Come on. So yeah, now he has a full, like, unimpeded waist. Legs can go back about that far and forward. Single joint at the knee. Ankles can pivot that far and can go backwards and forwards and with a bit of toe tilt due to transformation. It's pretty nice. Also thigh swivel. So yeah, that has been my review for the, well, the Maximal cast of Rise of the Beasts. Is this a good set? Honestly, if you're looking for a more realistic take on the Maximals, I wouldn't, it's not that I wouldn't recommend these, it's just that, as I said, if you like more realistic takes on the crew, then honestly I say go for them. Like, I'm pretty sure you could find Air Razor still on shelves, and, well, I think you can find Rhinoxes everywhere, because those shelf-warmed for a while, but yeah. So yeah, but if you want like a full Rise of the Beast crew, I honestly do recommend getting these guys. They're not too bad. They could have been a lot better, but hey, I mean, they were working with like a movie that had like multiple script changes during like the filming of it. I think it was supposed to come out sometime earlier, but then again, like 2020 happened, so yeah. So let me get everyone back in for the final shot. So yeah, that has been my review for the Maximal cast. Like, comment, subscribe, and if you made it this far in the video, let me know who's your favorite Maximal and who would you like to see in a live action design. That has been me signing out. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Peace out.